to the meeting. Before I start, let me just share with you some logistics. You have received the agenda. Throughout the agenda, I would appeal for everyone to keep the your interventions to the shortest possible time, because we have quite a tight schedule. We also have the interpretation available upon request. It has been made available into English, French, Czech, Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed this summer an alarming acceleration and spread of wildfires and the hectares of land burned amount to almost 800,000 hectares. That is the pictures we saw from Gironde in France, from the Serra de Estrela National Park in Portugal, from the Czech Republic, Germany, Spain, Karst region between Italy and Slovenia. These pictures will stay with us as a reminder of the severity that the wildfires are taking on our continent. And I want to pay tribute to all the brave men and women who work in the fire and emergency services and put their lives at risk to protect the lives and livelihoods of others and the environment. Our European firefighters and emergency services are really, truly doing a heroic job. European solidarity remains unbroken thanks to strategic decision-making of previous years to pool capacities also at the European level and share them across borders. However, we must do more, and we must do more also at the European level. We need to find ways to ease the national burden more quickly. Solidarity across Europe, when many or everyone is affected at the same time, cannot be taken for granted. Our emergency services are still containing ongoing fires. Yet we, as political decision makers, we have to look into the future. How can we fill this year's capacity gaps before they can arise again next year? Today's meeting shall mark the start of this discussion and action. All these disasters are reinforced by the new reality of climate change, and we need to tackle that jointly. Since June this year, we have had 11 requests for assistance under the Union Civil Protection Mechanism. And I can say that at the European level, we have reached our capacity limit. Some overwhelming fires in some member states did in fact not lead to a request for assistance because the countries concerned, the countries affected, knew that no capacities would have been available. And this year's fire season is not an isolated episode. It is part of an alarming trend. And we do not have to go far back. Let us remember the dramatic scenes in Greece and Turkey last year. Ladies and gentlemen, our joint rescue is a safety net that complements and supports national authorities in case of overwhelming situations. Therefore, to be better prepared for next year, I invite you today to an informal exchange on the overall need to step up prevention, preparedness, and response capacities for wildfires. I invite you to think about your state, but to think about also at what we should do at the European level in the framework of the Union Civil Protection Mechanism. In concrete terms, we all recognize that aerial firefighting assets have been the biggest challenge. The way the market is organized means that we need to act now if we want to avoid gaps in next year's response capacity. It means we have to reserve additional capacity on the commercial market now for next summer. Some of the questions that we shared in advance with you, and to which I hope we will find some answer today, are: should the EU immediately strengthen the rescue transition fleet, and how? Do you agree with the concept to reinforce the pre-positioning of firefighters on the ground? And so on. I'll go into more concrete questions that we are to address today a bit later. But now I would invite the Director General of the Czech Fire and Rescue Service, Mr. Vladislav Vlček, for his remarks on behalf of the Presidency of the Council. Mr. Vlček will join us over VTC. You have the floor.